early in the morning. Well, it ain't that early on the East Coast. It's 11:38. But as far as the West Coast time, 8:30. It's pretty early. Everybody in the house still asleep. Hopefully, I can get a couple hours in before everybody start waking up and then being loud. Kids go from quiet as a mouse sleeping. As soon as they wake up, it's constant noise all day. Well, Leah, what do y'all got planned for the day? Me, I plan on being on here for a few hours. My watch time hours are jumping up like every day for me being on live. So this is the bread and butter as far and posting shorts. So hopefully I get some people to start tuning in. We got somebody in the live. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. As you can see, the title said The Strangest Secret. Uh, we got an audio book we're going to be tuning in today. So, just doing a couple things before I get started. I hope my Wi-Fi don't start tripping when I try to play this video. Hopefully this video works this time.
On with men today. The great doctor was silent a moment, and then he said, men simply don't think. And it's about this that I want to talk with you. We live today in a golden age. This is an era that man has looked forward, dreamed of, and worked toward for thousands of years. But since it's here, we pretty well take it for granted. We in America are particularly fortunate to live in the richest land that ever existed on the face of the earth, a land of abundant opportunity for everyone. But do you know what happens? Let's take 100 men who start even at the age of 25. Do you have any idea what will happen to those men by the time they're 65? These 100 men who all start even at the age of 25 believe they're going to be successful. If you asked any one of these men if he wanted to be a success, he'd tell you that he did. And you'd notice that he was eager toward life. There was a certain sparkle to his eye, an erectness to his carriage, and life seemed like a pretty interesting adventure to him. But by the time they're 65, one will be rich, four will be financially independent, five will still be working, 54 will be broke. Now think a moment. Out of the 100, only five make the grade. Why do so many fail? What has happened to the sparkle that was there when they were 25? What's become of the dreams, the hopes, the plans? And why is there such a large disparity between what these men intended to do and what they actually accomplished? When we say about 5% achieve success, we have to define success. And here's the definition. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. If a man is working toward a predetermined goal and knows where he's going, that man is a success. If he's not doing that, he's a failure. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Rollo May, the distinguished psychiatrist, wrote a wonderful book called Man's Search for Himself. And in this book he says, the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice, it is conformity. And there you have the trouble today. It's conformity. People acting like everyone else, without knowing why, without knowing where they're going. Now think of it. In America right now, there are over 14 million people 65 years of age and over. And about 13 million of these
We
14
listened to
million
the
are broke.
audiobook
They're
of Think,
dependent on someone
Earl
else for
Nightingale's
life's
The Strangest
necessities.
Secret.
Now, we learn to read by the time we're 7. We learn to make a living by the time we're 25. Usually, by that time, we're not only making a living, we're supporting a family. And yet, by the time we're 65, we haven't learned how to become financially independent in the richest land that has ever been known. Why? We conform. And the
Not we conform, but the world conforms. But when I first started listening to this Earl Nightingale Think and Grow Rich, I was one of them people who conformed to the norm. And that's because I didn't have no guidance or no goals. I didn't have no direction in life. And when I heard this in 2018, I couldn't just stop replaying it because I knew I didn't get everything. I didn't hear everything the first time. So it was making so much sense. And like I said, I was still early into my waking up stage. But I was able to grasp what he was saying. Like he was speaking my language with the just the things he was saying. So this this audiobook changed my life by listening to it for every day for 30 days. I listened way more than 30 days, but the initial thing is listening to this for 30 days and it'll change your life. So after 30 days, my life definitely did change. I didn't become rich, multi-millionaire, but the way I was thinking started to change. The way I felt about myself, the way I saw myself start to change. So, and my mindset began to change. So that's when I started to create Positive Minds Only off this audiobook, The Strangest Secret. Because most people don't focus on their mental. They focus on materials or things on the outside, relationships. But if you don't got your mind right, then everything else will not be right in your life.
is that we're acting like the wrong percentage group, the 95% who don't succeed. Now, why do these people conform? Well, they don't know, really. These people believe that their lives are shaped by circumstances, by things that happen to them, by exterior forces. They're outer-directed people. A survey was made one time that covered a lot of men, working men, and these men were asked this question. Why do you work? Why do you get up in the morning? 19 out of 20 had no idea. If you ask them, they'll say, everyone goes to work in the morning. And that's the reason they do it, because everyone else is doing it. Now let's get back to our definition of success. Who succeeds? The only man who succeeds is the man who is progressively realizing a worthy ideal. He's the man who says, I'm going to become this, and then begins to work toward that goal. I'll tell you who the successful people are. A success is the school teacher who's teaching school because that's what she wanted to do. The success is the woman who's a wife and mother because she wanted to become a wife and mother and is doing a good job of it. The success is the man who runs the corner gas station because that's what he wanted to do. The success is the successful salesman who wants to become a top-notch salesman and grow and build with his organization. A success is anyone who is doing deliberately a predetermined job because that's what he decided to do deliberately. But only 1 out of 20 does that. That's what
1 out of 20 does what he wants to do in his life. That's 5 out of 100 people. That is terrible. Everybody else is just like doing what they gotta do, doing what they have to do to like provide for their family or take care of their bills or whatever. But it's only 1 out of 20 people that is successful. And successful don't mean like having $1 million. Successful don't mean living in a mansion. Successful is doing what you love to do, and that makes you a success. So if you want to be a great mom and you a great mom, that you successful. If you want to be a teacher and you're teaching kids, that's your job. You're successful. Me, like just having a positive mindset. That's my goal. I'm already successful. So, are you successful? Are you that 1 in 20?
today there isn't really any competition unless we make it for ourselves. Instead of competing, all we have to do is create. Now, for 20 years, I looked for the key which would determine what would happen to a human being. Was there a key I wanted to know which would make the future a promise that we could foretell to a large extent? Was there a key that would guarantee a person's becoming successful if he only knew about it and knew how to use it? Well, there is such a key, and I found it. Have you ever wondered why so many men work so hard and honestly without ever achieving anything in particular, and others don't seem to work hard and yet seem to get everything? They have the magic touch. You've heard them say that about someone. Everything he touches turns to gold. And have you ever noticed that a man who becomes successful tends to continue to become successful? And on the other hand, have you noticed how a man who is a failure tends to continue to fail? It's because of goals. Some of us have them, some don't. People with goals succeed because they know where they're going. Now think of a ship leaving a harbor, and think of it with the complete voyage mapped out and planned.
People
The
who
captain and crew know
succeed just
exactly
because
where
they
it's
know where
going
they're
and how long
going.
it will take. It has a definite goal. 9,999 times out of 10,000, it will get to where it started out to get. Now let's take another ship, just like the first, only let's not put a crew on it, or a captain at the helm. Let's give it no aiming point, no goal, no destination. We just
If you
start the
tuning
engines
into the
and let
live,
it go.
make sure you give it a
I
like.
think you'll agree with me that
We
if it gets
listening to
out of the
Earl
harbor at all,
Nightingale's The
it
Strangest
will either
Secret,
sink
a book
or
that
wind up
changed
on
my
some
life. So
deserted beach at Darrow.
hopefully
It
it can
can't go any
impact
place because it
somebody
has no
else
destination
to
and no
tune into
guidance.
the live. So
It's the same with a human being. Take the salesman, for example. There is no other person in the world today with the future of a good salesman. Selling is the world's highest paid profession, if we're good at it, and if we know where we're going. Every company needs top-notch salesmen, and they reward those men. The sky is the limit for them. But how many can you find? Someone once said, the human race is fixed, not to prevent the strong from winning, but to prevent the weak from losing. The American economy today can be likened to a convoy in time of war. The entire economy is slowed down to protect its weakest link, just as the convoy had to go at the speed that would permit its slowest vessel to remain in formation. That's why it's so easy to make a living today. It takes no particular brains or talent to make a living and support a family today. So we have a plateau of so-called security, if that's what a person's looking for. But we do have to decide how high above this plateau we want to aim for. Now let's get back to the strangest secret in the world.
like the world, like the United States, what we living in is based on like protecting the weak. Like it's based on looking out for the poor people. Like those are the people that got it easy. It's like it's nothing stopping you from being rich. It's nothing stopping you from getting what you want out of life. Just most people get comfortable. Most people conform to life's norm, like settling for a job, settling for a relationship, settling for a city, like they grew up in. Me, I decided to change my life by not only leaving my hometown, but creating something positive minds only. Like, and now we bring in positive minds only to YouTube, so that's why I've been on live every day, continuing to build my brand. And it slowly but surely has been taking off and working in my favor.
Story that I wanted to tell you today. Why do men with goals succeed in life and men without them fail? Well, let me tell you something which, if you really understand it, will alter your life immediately. If you understand completely what I'm going
This
to tell
book
you from
changed
this
my life
moment on,
in
your life
2018,
will never be the same again.
almost 4 years
You will
ago.
suddenly find that good luck just seems to be attracted to you. The things you want just seem to fall in line. And from now on, you won't have the problems, the worries, the gnawing lump of anxiety that perhaps you've experienced before. Doubt, fear, well, they'll be things of the past. Here's the key to success and the key to failure. We become what we think about. Now, let me say that again. We become what we think about. Throughout all history, the great wise men and teachers,
When
philosophers,
I first heard that him say that, we become what we think about. Like I already knew what he meant when he said it because I was already reading Think and Grow Rich. I was already learning about the law of attraction, but it just made it more simple. It was like I had an epiphany, like because I started thinking about all the past I went through. Like I will always, anything you think, like comes true, like good or bad. Most people just think more negative, so they have a negative reality. It manifests nothing but negativity. Me, like once I heard this video and I just kept replaying it every day, like I developed a positive mindset. So I started setting more goals. I started like working towards what I wanted in life. Like this book, like I said, I found it in 2018. I still listen to it today. Like not every day, but I still listen to it often. So
and prophets have disagreed with one another on many different things. It is only on this one point that they are in complete and unanimous agreement. Listen to what Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor, said. He said, "A man's life is what his thoughts make of it." Disraeli said this, "Everything comes if a man will only wait. I have brought myself by long meditation to the conviction that a human being with a settled purpose must accomplish it, and that nothing can resist a will that will stake even existence for its fulfillment." Ralph Waldo Emerson said this, "A man is what he thinks about all day long." William James said, "The greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind." And he also said, "We need only in cold blood act as if the thing in question were real, and it will become infallibly real by growing into such a connection with our life that it will become real. It will become so knit with habit and emotion that our interest in it will be those which characterize belief." He also said this, "If you only care enough for a result, you will almost certainly attain it. If you wish to be rich, you
you'll
will
be
be rich.
rich.
If you wish to be learned, you
You'll
will
be
be
learned.
learned. If you wish to be good, you
You'll
will...
be good.
Only you must then really wish these things, and wish them exclusively, and not wish at the same time 100 other incompatible things just as strongly."
I don't know why I
In the
start letting
Bible
my
you read
notifications
in
come back
Mark
on. Like them I just
9:23,
stay popping up.
"If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him
Who
that
invested in
believeth."
Bitcoin right now?
Dr. Norman Vincent Peale said this, "This is one of the greatest laws in the universe. Fervently do I wish I had discovered it as a very young man. It dawned upon me much later in life, and I found it to be one of the greatest, if not my greatest discovery, outside of my relationship to God. And the great law, briefly and simply stated, is that if you think in negative terms, you will
You'll
get
get
negative
negative
results.
results.
If you think in positive terms, you
You'll
will
get
achieve positive
positive
results.
results.
That is the simple fact, which is at the basis of an astonishing law of believe and succeed." William Shakespeare.
Like he said, and I said earlier, if you think negative, you're gonna get negative results. But if you think positive, positive will come into your life. but you will still experience negative moments in life because that's you on Earth. Like everything ain't always gonna be as smooth as you want it to be. But when you get the understanding of who you are and like why you're here and like where you're going in life, it becomes a lot smoother. And then eventually, nothing can affect you. Like it's just a matter of time and a matter of wanting to change who you are for the better. And then people will gonna notice the change in you. People gonna start saying like, at first they gonna think it's a bad thing because they gonna think you acting funny, being different, or telling what they'll be thinking. But once you start to influence them, once you start to change their life or the people around them, like then they gonna start to pay a lot more attention.
Here, put it this way. Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. George Bernard Shaw said, "People are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, make them." Well, it's pretty apparent, isn't it? And every person who discovered this for a while believed that he was the first one to work it out. We become what we think about. Now, it stands to reason that a person who's thinking about a concrete and worthwhile goal is going to reach it, because that's what he's thinking about. And we become what we think about. Conversely, the man who has no goal, who doesn't know where he's going, and whose thoughts anxiety and fear and worry, becomes what he thinks about. His life becomes one of frustration.
My internet be tripping, especially
He
me.
becomes nothing. Now, how does it work? Why do we become what we think about? Well, I'll tell you how it works as far as we know. Now, to do this, I want to tell you about a situation that parallels the human mind. Suppose a farmer has some land and it's good
Make sure
fertile
you give
land.
it a thumbs
Now,
up
the
because
land
live
gives the farmer
we
a
listening to
choice.
the
He may
strangest
plant in
secret.
that land whatever he chooses. The land doesn't care.
If you're not already
It's up to the
subscribed,
farmer to make the
make sure you
decision.
hit that
Now,
subscribe
remember, we're
button.
comparing mind with the land. Because the mind, like the land, doesn't care what you plant in it. It will return what you plant, but
It
it
doesn't
doesn't
care.
care what you plant. Now let's say that the farmer has two seeds in his hand. One is a seed of corn, the other is nightshade, a deadly poison. He digs two little holes in the earth and he plants both seeds, one corn, the other nightshade. He covers up the holes, waters, and takes care of the land, and what will happen? Invariably, the land will return what is planted. As it's written in the Bible, as ye sow, so shall ye reap. Remember, the land doesn't care. It will return poison in just as wonderful abundance as it will corn. So up come the two plants, one corn, one poison. Now, the human mind is far more fertile, far more incredible and mysterious than the land, but it works the same way. It doesn't care what we plant. Success, failure, a concrete worthwhile goal, or confusion, misunderstanding, fear, anxiety, and so on. But what we plant, it will return to us. You see, the human mind is the last great unexplored continent on the earth. It contains riches beyond our wildest dreams. It will return anything we want to plant. Now you might say, well, if that's true, why don't people use their minds more? Well, I think they've figured out an answer to that too. Our mind comes as standard equipment at birth. It's free. And things that are given to us for nothing, we place little value on. Things that we pay money for, we value.
People don't use their mind because it's given to you for free, and you don't value nothing that's free. You value things that you pay for. Yet those are the cheap things. Those are the things that can be replaced. You can't replace your mind. You can't replace your soul. You can't replace your body. Yet we take it for granted. We don't take care of it. Like we don't explore our own mind. If you want something, all you gotta do is think it, believe it, ask for it, and it's gonna come. But also you gotta work towards it.
Paradox is that exactly the reverse is true. Everything that's really worthwhile in life came to us free. Our mind, Our soul, our body, our hopes, our dreams, our ambitions, our intelligence, our love of family and children and friends. All these priceless possessions are free, but the things that cost us money are actually very cheap and can be replaced at any time. A good man can be completely wiped out and make another fortune. He can do that several times. Even if our home burns down, we can rebuild it. But the things we got for nothing, we can never replace. The human mind isn't you breeds contempt. It can do any kind of job we assign to it, but generally speaking, we use it for little jobs instead of big important ones. Universities have proved that most of us are operating on about 10% of our abilities. Decide now. What is it you want? Plant your goal in your mind. It's the most important decision you ever make in your entire life. Do you want to be an outstanding salesman, a better worker at your particular job? Do you want to go places in your company, in your community? All you've got to do is plant that seed in your mind. Care for it. Work steadily toward your goal, and it will become a reality. It not only will, there's no way that it cannot. Laws of Sir Isaac Newton, the laws of gravity. If you get on top of a building and jump off, you'll always go down. You'll never go up. And it's the same with all the other laws of nature. They always work. They're inflexible. Think about your goal in a relaxed, positive way. Picture yourself in your mind's eye as having already achieved this goal. See yourself doing the things you will be doing when you've reached your goal. Ours has been called the phenobarbital age, the age of ulcers and nervous breakdown. At a time when medical research has raised us to a new plateau of good health and longevity, far too many of us worry ourselves into an early grave trying to cope with things in our own little personal ways, without learning a few great laws that will take care of everything for us. These things we bring on ourselves
Learn the
through our
laws of the
habitual way of
universe.
thinking. Every one of us is the sum total of his own thoughts. He is where he is because that is exactly where he really wants to be, whether he admit that or not.
Everybody, every single one of us is where we truly want to be, whether that's good or bad. But that's what we've manifested for ourselves. Anything that's going on in your life that you deem bad or good is happening because that's what you truly desire. Well, whether it's in like that toxic relationship or that job or whatever, like if you settling right now, like you truly happy for settling, that's what you want. So
Of us must live off the fruit of his thoughts in the future, because what you think today and tomorrow, next month and next year, will mold your life and determine your future. You're guided by your mind. I remember one time I was driving through Arizona and I saw one of those giant earth-moving machines roaring along the road at about 35 miles an hour with what looked like 20 tons of dirt in it, a tremendous, incredible machine. And there was a little man perched way up on top with the wheel in his hands guiding it. And as I drove along, I was struck by the similarity of that machine to the human mind. Just suppose you're sitting at the controls of such a vast source of energy. Are you going to sit back and fold your arms and let it run itself into a ditch?
nope.
Or are you going to keep both hands firmly on the wheel and control and direct this power to a specific, worthwhile purpose? It's up to you. You're in the driver's seat.
Most people live their life and they it's on autopilot. They ain't even got their hands on the steering wheel of their life. Like it's just being led and guided by whatever's been programming them. So me, I got control of my life. I got control of my thinking. I know where I'm going. I know the destination, and I'm not about to let go of my steering wheel because I used to drive like the big trucks, the semis, and that shit didn't last. Like I used it would be times where I would be almost falling asleep on the road. So I'm like that was not meant for me. But that's also because I was trying to do things for money at that time. I didn't know what my purpose was. I didn't even know I had a purpose. In 2016, when I was trying to drive trucks, like I was just living my life by listening to what everybody else told me I should do. So once I came across this strangest secret, and I swear I listened to it for every day, all day, and it changed my life for 30 days. And I've been preaching about this book ever since. I've been telling people about this book ever since. Most people, if they got some knowledge and they don't want to tell you where they got it from, then like you need to watch out for them type of people.
You see, the very law that gives us success is a two-edged sword. We must control our thinking. The same rule that can lead a man to a life of success, wealth, happiness, and all the things he's ever dreamed of for himself and his family, that very same law can lead him into the gutter. It's all in how he uses it, for good or for bad. This is the strangest secret in the world. Now, why do I say it's strange, and why do I call it a secret? Actually, it isn't a secret at all. It was first promulgated by some of the earliest wise men, and it appears again and again throughout the Bible. But very few people have learned it, understand it. That's why it's strange,
Why
and
do you think
why,
that's
for
the
some
case?
equally strange reason, it virtually remains a secret. I believe that you could go out and walk down the main street of your town and ask one man after another what the secret of success is, and you probably wouldn't run into one man in a month
Do you
who
know
would tell you.
what the secret to
Now,
success
this
is?
information is enormously valuable to us.
Alright, but we should all know it. Like, do the person who just came up in the live, do you know what the secret to success is? Me, it's like knowing like your mind is the creative law. You become what you think. Everything you manifest into your life, everything you got in your life right now is because you manifested it, good or bad. Like, but most people don't know that. Like most people think it's an outside force that's controlling like what's going on in their life. Nobody truly want to take responsibility for even the good things they got. Like most people like, oh, thank you God, thank you Jesus for blessing me, but they don't never ever take credit themselves. And then especially when something bad happens, they gonna always blame that on the devil. So like me, I understand like I'm the creator of my own reality, and me the best way I'm gonna live my best reality is to think positive, know what I want in life, set goals. Don't let nobody distract me from what I got going on. Like he's saying, like, is you gonna be driving? Would you drive a semi truck and you let go of the steering wheel and just let it drive by itself? Or are you gonna continue to take control? Like I'm pretty sure you ain't gonna be paying attention too much to what other drivers are doing unless they're like trying to get in front of you or something. But most of the time you gotta be focused on your goal, like so.
If we really understand it and apply it. It's valuable to us not only for our own lives,
I
but
love Earl
the lives of
Nightingale's
those
Strangest
around us,
Secret.
our family, employees, associates, and friends. Life should be an exciting adventure. It should never be a bore. A man should live fully, be alive. He should be glad to get out of bed in the
Life should
morning.
be
He should be
fun.
doing a job he likes to do because he does it well. One time I heard Grove Patterson make a speech, the editor-in-chief of the Toledo Daily Plain. And as he concluded his speech, he said something that I've never forgotten. He said something like this: my years in the newspaper business have convinced me of several things. Among them, that people are basically good, and that we came from someplace,
We're
and we're
going
going
someplace.
someplace. So we should make our time here an exciting adventure. The architect of the universe
If life isn't
didn't
exciting
build a
for you, like you
stairway
need to change
leading
your
nowhere.
reality. Like if your life is
And the
boring,
greatest
if you think your life is boring and you're not living your best life, you need to change that. Like, and don't stop until you get it. Like most people just settle for a bullshit ass life they don't really want. A life they just conform into like the norm of what everybody else is doing around them. Like most people would never truly try to achieve nothing in their life because it's they deem it's impossible. Nah, it's really not. There's really nothing or nobody to stop you from getting what you want out of life except yourself and accept the programs you've been programmed with since birth, basically. So your parents programmed you to think to be a Christian, think to be like however they taught you to be. Then whatever school you went, they taught you what they wanted to teach you. Like that's programming. Your parents programming. You go to church, that's programming. You listen to music, that's programming. You watch TV, that's programming. That's why it's called TV programming, radio program, church program. Like it's all a programming to make you think a certain way, and most of the time it's not to think positive. Like, even though I was in church, I wasn't thinking positive. Like, I was the biggest sinner. So once I stepped away, and once I had to go find myself and figure out, like, okay, what am I doing wrong? It was like I wasn't setting goals and I wasn't thinking positive. Like, I didn't even have no type of control over my thoughts. Like, but until I came across this book, The Strangest Secret. So
Revolt. The carpenter from the plains of Galilee gave us the secret time and time again. As ye believe, so shall it be done unto you. I've explained the strangest secret in the world and how it works. Now I want to explain how you can prove to yourself the enormous returns possible in your own life by putting this secret to a practical test.
before he said that, like, I used to listen to this book every day when in the beginning, and like I was nothing like the person he was talking about. Like, even though I knew about setting goals up until that point, like I didn't truly apply it like he said. Like, and then once I, like I said, listen to it every day, it was like shit. Something clicked in me. And I'm like, oh snap! I should have been doing this my whole life. Like, cause I seen the progress, I seen the work, and it wasn't things that was major. It wasn't like I got $1 million after 30 days after listening to this book every day. Nah, but I was like certain things started happening, like my mindset started changing, and I just kept listening to the book and just listened to more other books, read more books, meditated more, and just focused on myself more. Like, that's what this book really taught me to like think and be like. So
I want you to make a test that will last 30 days. Now, it isn't going to be easy. If you give it a
definitely
good
wasn't
try,
easy.
it will completely change your life for the better. Back in the 17th century, Sir Isaac Newton, the English mathematician and natural philosopher, gave us some natural laws of physics which apply as much to human beings as they do to the movement of bodies in the universe. Now, one of these laws is that for every action,
Make sure
there
you
is an equal and
leave a
opposite
like,
reaction.
comment.
Simply stated, as it applies to you and me, it means we can achieve nothing without paying the price. The results of your 30-day experiment will be in direct proportion to the effort you put forth. To be a doctor, you must pay the price of long years of difficult study. To be successful in selling, and remember that each of us succeeds to the extent of his ability to sell. Selling our families on our ideas, selling education in schools, selling our children on the advantages of living a good and honest life, selling our associates and employees on the importance of being exceptional people. To, of course, the profession of selling itself. But to be successful in selling our way to the good life, we must be willing to pay the price. Now, what is that price? Well, it's many things. First, it's understanding emotionally, as well as intellectually, that we literally become what we think about. That we must control our thoughts if we're to control our lives. It's understanding fully that, as ye sow, so shall ye reap. Secondly, it's cutting away all the fetters from the mind and permitting it to soar as it was divinely designed to do. It's the realization that your limitations are self-imposed and that the opportunities for you today are enormous beyond belief. It's rising above narrow-minded pettiness and prejudice. Thirdly, to use all your courage to force yourself to think positively on your own problem, to set a definite and clearly defined goal for yourself, to let your marvelous mind think about your goal from all possible angles, to let your imagination speculate freely upon many different possible solutions, to refuse to believe there are any circumstances sufficiently strong to defeat you in the accomplishment of your purpose, to act promptly and decisively when your course is clear, and to keep constantly aware of the fact that you are, at this moment, standing in the middle of your own acre of diamonds, as Sir Conwell used to point out.
So, like, as y'all can see, if you've been listening to my lives or my videos recently, I preach of like not letting nothing stop me, not letting anything get in my way to my success and to what I want in life. Because this like book like truly inspired me to like chase my dreams and go after what life was about. And it's only like 30 something minute video. Like I'm stretching it out, but truly, like this book changed my life.
Fourth, save at least 10% of what you earn. It's also remembering that no matter what your present job, it has enormous possibilities if you're willing to pay the price. Now let's just go over the important points in the price each of us must pay to achieve the wonderful life that can be
Are
ours.
you willing to pay
It
the
is, of
price
course,
to
worth
get
any
what
price.
you want out of life?
1. You will become what you think about. 2. Remember the word imagination. Let your mind soar. 3. Courage. Concentrate on your goal every day. 4. Save 10% of what you earn. And action.
I ain't started saving
Ideas
10%
are
till
worthless
like last
unless
year.
we act on them.
I ain't even gonna lie.
Now I'll try to outline the 30-day test I
At
want you to
first,
make. Now
I
keep in
was
mind
like,
that you have nothing to lose by making this test,
I was spending
and
all my
everything
money,
you could
even up
possibly
until this
want
point of learning this
to
book,
gain.
because I still didn't know how to
There are
manage
two
money.
things that may be said
So
of everyone. Each of us wants
I couldn't even
something,
say 10%.
and each of us is afraid
Now I do.
of something.
Now I can.
I want you to write on a card what it is you want more than anything else. It may be more money. Perhaps you'd like to double your income or make a specific amount of money. It may be a beautiful home. It may be success at your job. It may be a particular position in life. It could be a more harmonious family. Each of us wants something. Write down on your card specifically what it is that you want. Make sure it's a single goal and
I
clearly
hope
defined.
y'all like
You
doing
needn't show it
this.
to anyone, but carry.
You don't even, but now we're in a new day. You don't need to get a flashcard or anything and write your goal or whatever it is you want in life. But in your notes in your phone, write a goal that you want, and every day look at that mug, read it, believe it, see it to come true, and maybe not in 30 days if you ask them for $1 million, it's gonna come true. Cause that's what I was doing. Like my dumb ass was expecting $10 million to just fall out of the sky after I learned this book. But that's when I learned that I can't just be setting huge goals and expecting it to come when I want, cause that ain't gonna happen. That didn't happen for nobody.
You so that you can look at it several times a day. Think about it in a cheerful, relaxed, positive way each morning when you get up, and immediately you have something to work for, something to get out of bed for, something to live for. Look at it every chance you get during the day and just before going to bed at night. As you look at it, remember that you must become what you think about. And since you're thinking about your goal, you realize that soon it will be yours. In fact, it's yours really the moment you write it down and begin to think about it. Look at the abundance all around you as you go about your daily business. You have as much right to this abundance as any other living creature. It's yours for the asking. Now we come to the difficult part. Difficult because it means the formation of what is probably a brand new habit. And new habits are not easily formed. Once formed, however, it'll follow you for the rest of your life. Stop thinking about what it is you fear. Each time a fearful or negative thought comes into your consciousness, replace it with a mental picture of your positive and worthwhile goal. There will come times when you will feel like giving up. It's easier for a human being to think negatively than positively. That's why only 5% is successful. You must begin now to place yourself in that group. For 30 days, you must take control of your mind. It will think only about what you permit it to think. Each day for this 30-day test, do more than you have to do. In addition to maintaining a cheerful, positive outlook, give of yourself more than you've ever done before. Do this knowing that your returns in life must
Like
be
if
in
my
direct
videos
proportion to
and my
what you
lives
give.
gonna be
The moment you decide
3
on a
hours
goal to
long, I
work
think
for,
I need to
you're
add like an
immediately a
audiobook
successful
to
person.
it too.
You're then in that rare and
Because
successful
I know I'm
category
always
of people who
repeating
know
myself.
where they're going.
So if I
Out
add
of every
a book
100
to
people,
it,
you belong to the top
we
5.
can both learn because I love
Don't
listening to
concern
books too.
yourself too much with how you're going to achieve your goal. Leave that completely to a power greater than yourself. All you have to do is know where you're going. The answers will come to you of their own accord. Remember these words from the Sermon on the Mount, and remember them well. Keep them constantly before you this month of your test. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek,
and
and
you
ye shall
shall
find.
find.
Knock,
Knock,
and it shall be opened unto you. For every one that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. It's as marvelous and as simple as that. In fact, it's so simple that in our seemingly complicated world it's difficult for an adult to understand that all he needs is a purpose and faith. For 30 days, do your best. If you're a salesman, go at it as you've never done before. Not a
See, I'm not no salesman. I'm not trying to sell nobody nothing. So when I was listening to this video, like at first it made me want to think I wanted to be a salesman because the way he was putting, I'm like, dang, if salesmen think like this, like I need to be selling something. But I was just meant to use the. It was just meant for me to use the information what he was teaching me, like about setting goals. So Earl Nightingale truly changed my life. And to find out he was a Marine as well, like we both went to the same boot camp air place in San Diego. We both got out as corporals. Like he ended up becoming a speaker. Now I'm a speaker. So shout out to Earl Nightingale because this book, I'm telling you, this book truly changed my life.
hectic fashion, but with a calm, cheerful assurance that time well spent will give you the abundance in return you deserve and want. No matter what your job, do it as you've never done it before for 30 days. And if you've kept your goal before you every day, you'll wonder and marvel at this new life you've found. Dorothea Brand, outstanding editor and writer, discovered it for herself and tells about it in her fine book, Wake Up and Live. Her entire philosophy is reduced to the words, act as though it were impossible to fail.
Act as though it was impossible to fail. That's how I act. If I was to sum up like just my whole journey, like I act like it's impossible to fail. Like, but I do fail in life. Let's not get it wrong. But it's mental for me. Like, girl, and I listening to this for 30 days in a row. More actually. If I was to total up all the times I've listened to this book, including today, like it's definitely over 100, way more over 100 times. So that's over 100 days. Like I probably listened to this book a year worth tops. Like since I discovered it. Nah, I ain't gonna say I listened to it like 365 times. Maybe I don't know, cause it was times I listened to this book like multiple times throughout the day. Like so, the number of times I listened to the Strangest Secret or even read the like book version, like it's pretty a lot of times.
With sincerity and faith, and her entire life was changed to one of overwhelming success. Now you make your test for 30 full days. Don't start your test until you've made up your mind to stick with it. You see, by being persistent, you're demonstrating faith. Persistence is simply another word for faith. If you didn't have faith, you would never persist. If you should fail during your first 30 days, by that I mean suddenly find yourself overwhelmed by negative thoughts, you've got to start over again from that point and go 30 more days. Gradually, your new habit will form until you find yourself one of that wonderful minority to whom virtually nothing is impossible. Don't forget the card.
I'm in
It's
that
vitally
1%.
important as you begin this new way of
Or that
living.
5%.
On one side,
Like I went from the 95% because I knew when I first started listening to this video, even though I was still young when I discovered it. Like I knew I was in the 95% in the beginning, meaning like I ain't have no type of control over my life. I had no type of direction. But after I listened to this book every day, 4 years later, almost 5 years later, I'm in the 1%, mind mental wise, and that just going all translate into financial wise as well. So all I gotta do is continue to like set goals for myself and work towards those goals. Like I said, I ain't trying to save the world. I'm not trying to be the next Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Nobody. I don't even want to be seen like that. I'm just building my brand up, like so, and my company. Since I'm the only person who runs the company, guess we gotta get in front of the camera.
The card, write your goal, whatever it may be. On the other side, write the words we've quoted from the Sermon on the Mount. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Nothing great was ever accomplished without inspiration. See that during these crucial first 30 days, your own inspiration is kept at a peak.
I was definitely
Above
inspired.
all, don't worry. Worry brings fear, and fear is crippling. The only thing that can cause you to worry during your test is trying to do it all yourself. Know that all you have to do is hold your goal before you. Everything else will take care of itself. Remember also to keep calm and cheerful. Don't let petty things annoy you and get you off course. Now, since making this test is difficult, some may say, well, why should I bother? Well, look at the alternative.
Like I
No
said,
one wants to be a failure. No one really
this
wants to
book,
be a
I'm just
mediocre
reflecting and
individual.
thinking in my head. Oh, y'all probably like that. What is he staring at? Like, I'm just thinking, like, this how this book truly changed my life. Like, I went from a negative thinking person, not having guidance, not having, like, not, not knowing what I wanted in life. Even though I was setting goals, I truly didn't know what I wanted for myself. I'm glad I took this guy's advice. Most people who start becoming conscious don't want to listen to nobody that's white. They only want to listen to black people. But me, I've always been open to listen to anybody who has some type of information for me. Like, I've never been biased because of somebody's race. Like, because we all got something we can learn from or teach something. But there are individuals that got bad agendas. So I'm always open, like using my discernment to what I should be listening to, who I should be taking notes from. Like, but at the end of the day, I ain't following nobody. I'm gonna get some information from you, but I'm gonna move on to the next. I'm gonna just keep like the Book of Eli. Have you ever seen that movie? How Denzel just kept walking forward, like he had stopped just to rest. Well, somebody was trying to stop him, but his goal was to just keep going forward and get that book to where like to reach his goal destination. So this book, The Strangest Secret, has been played a big part of my like journey. Like, man, it truly changed my life. And it's only like 30 minutes, 35 minutes of book. Like, you got 35 minutes of your day to listen to a book. But if you ain't got that much time, you must be getting a lot of money.
Fear,
If you ain't getting a lot of money, then
frustration.
I don't know.
Therefore, remember that you must reap that which you sow. If you sow negative thoughts, your life will be filled with negative things. If you sow positive thoughts, your life will be cheerful, successful, and positive. Now, gradually, you will have a
I don't
tendency
know
to
if I'm gonna
forget
get
what
copyright for
you've heard
playing
on
this
this record.
audiobook, but
Play it often.
if so, like,
Keep
it
reminding
don't matter.
yourself of what
It
you
really,
must
it
do to
truly don't
form
matter.
this new habit. Gather your whole family about and listen to what's been said here at regular intervals. You know, most men will tell you that they want to.
Like when I first started listening to this, I made my whole family like listen to this audiobook. Kids, baby, wife, like we was all listening to Earl Nightingale every single day. Like, and guess what? Like, it changed everybody's mindset. Like, even the baby's mindset. I made them listen to audiobooks with me. Like, my daughter was one. She wasn't even 1 years old, but she was listening to what I was listening to. Like, she was tuning into what I had going on. Like, so when I was meditating, she'd be right there laying with me meditating. Like, so now she don't be wanting to meditate. Now she want to be distracted, be on her phone, play games. But when my daughter was first born, and like I had her with me the whole time I'm learning and growing, because I was discovering something new. Like, so, I wanted to put my own kids on too. I'm not gonna be most parents, or the way I was raised. Like, they didn't teach us truly the right way. So the way I was raised wasn't the right way. Up until that point, I had Athena. So as I was rebranding or refixing the way I was thinking, I was automatically putting her on to what I was learning. So she didn't get raised on how I was raised. 'Cause that's how I raised my previous children. So
Without understanding the law. The only people who make money work in the mint. The rest of us must earn money. This is what causes those who keep looking for something for nothing or a free ride to fail in life. The only way to earn money is by providing people with services or products which are needed and useful. We exchange our product or service for the other man's money. Therefore, the law is that our financial return will be in direct proportion to our service. Success is not the result of making money. Making money is the result of success. And success is in direct proportion to our service. Most people have this law backwards. They believe that you're successful if you earn a lot of money. The truth is that you can only earn money after you're successful. It's like the story of the man who sat in front of the stove and said to it, "Give me heat, and then I'll add the wood." How many men and women do you know, or do you suppose there are today, who take the same attitude toward life?
I know a lot of people like that.
We've got to put the fuel in before we can expect heat. Likewise, we've got to be of service first before we can expect money. Don't concern yourself with the money. Be of service. Build, work,
I
dream,
stopped like when
create.
I first listened to this book. Like I wasn't truly like he had said stop focused on money. Even though I had my money goals, like truly stopped focusing on money at a point in time. So now it's like I'm focused on my goal and like the money. So you can't when somebody is giving you information, you gotta understand what works best for you. Like so, even though like 90, I agree with 99% of what he said. Like I do kind of focus on money too, because that's a way of manifestation. So
Do this, and you'll find there's no limit to the prosperity and abundance that will come to you. Prosperity is founded upon a law of mutual exchange. Any person who contributes to prosperity must prosper in turn himself. Sometimes the return will not come from those you serve, but it must come to you from someplace, for that is the law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction.
reaction.
As you go daily through your 30-day test period, remember that your success will always be measured by the quality and quantity of service you render, and money is a yardstick for measuring this service. No man can get rich himself unless he enriches others.
Others.
There are no exceptions to a law.
So that, like you said, nobody can get enrich themselves without enriching others. So that's what I'm doing by providing information. Like I'm enriching you people, you guys. Like so, and in return, like the universe can help me get rich. So provide a service and give the best service. Like don't just do your job and then just halfway do it and then expect a full return. Like especially not spiritual wise. Like when you're doing spiritual work, like so when I be talking for hours, I be pushing myself to the limit. Like still now, like I was on live for yesterday for a total of 7 something hours, and now I'm back early in the morning, back on live. Like so, like I'm really pushing myself. Like I'm really taking myself to the limit because I gotta go. I know where I'm going. Like shit. I'm not gonna let nothing or no one get in my way or stop that. So
Drive down any street in America and from your car estimate the service that's being rendered by the people living on that street. Had you ever thought of this yardstick before? It's interesting. Some, like ministers and priests and other devoted people, measure their returns in the realm of the spiritual, but again, their returns are equal to their service. This law is fully understood. Any thinking person can tell his own fortune. If he wants more, he must be of more service to those from whom he receives his return. If he wants less, He has only to reduce this service. This is the price you must
See, I
pay
want more, so
for
I
what
gotta
you
do
want.
way more. I have to be on live way more because I don't want just a little. Like at first, I was wanting a lot, but I wasn't willing to do that much to get it. So now it's like, nah, I'm ready to work for what I'm asking for. Like, cause it's been taking up too long. Like, so any way I can speed the process of getting what I want is well by being patient in the everyday moment, in the present moment. Then it's gonna come more quicker. Cause when you working and you having fun and you got your head down, like seeing things go by quicker. My days are a lot shorter. It seems like now that I be doing YouTube or like I can't be when I do a live 3 days ago. It feel like I did it yesterday. Or like that's how time is an illusion, honestly.
If you believe you can enrich yourself by deluding others, you can only end by deluding yourself. It may take some time, but just as surely as you breathe, you'll get back what you put out. Don't ever make the mistake of thinking you can avert this. It's impossible. The prisons and the streets where the lonely walk are filled with people who tried to make new laws just for themselves. We may avoid the laws of men, but there are greater laws that cannot be broken. An outstanding medical doctor recently pointed out 6 steps that will help you realize success. 1. Set yourself a definite goal. 2. Quit running yourself down. 3. Stop thinking of all the reasons why you cannot be successful, and instead think of all the reasons why you can. 4. Trace your attitudes back through your childhood and try to discover where you first got the idea you couldn't be a success, if that's the way you've been thinking. 5. Change the image you have of yourself by writing out a
Like
description.
when I traced back to like where I felt like I told myself I couldn't be as successful as I wanted. It didn't even go back to my childhood. When I was a child, I was able to like be what I want. I was able to be successful. I was able to maximize who I was. But it was when I got older and I started to go into this church. Like that's when I started to like I don't know like that's when it was affecting. I was impacted the most in a negative way. Like, but I got out of that. Like now I'm back to my old self. Like even not now my old, I feel like I'm back to my younger self when I was a child, but not more in a positive way because I had some negative. I was doing some negative shit back then. So, I mean, only in a good way.
Of the person you would like to be. And 6. Act the part of the successful person you have decided to become. The doctor who wrote those words is a noted West Coast psychiatrist, David Harold
You
Fink,
gotta
MD.
act like who you want to
Do what
become.
all experts since the dawn of recorded history have told you must do. Pay the price by becoming the person you want to become. It's not nearly
Are
as
you willing
difficult
to
as
pay the
living
price to become the person you want to become? To get those things you want to get? Are you willing to sacrifice, make those sacrifices? Or are you going to just settle for what you've been given? Like, either way, the universe is going to conspire to give you what you ask for. Like, and most people would be like I said, Earl Nightingale said, stop focusing on the obstacles, stop focusing on the negative. So y'all got to stop. When you want to do something, when you want to get something out of life, you got to stop doubting yourself. Like, you got to get out of your own way. You got to let yourself know it's okay for me to have whatever I want in this life. So,
honestly. Make your 30-day test. Then repeat it. Then repeat it again. Each time it will become more a part of you until you'll wonder how you could ever have lived any other way. Live this new way, and the floodgates of abundance will open and pour over you more riches than you may have dreamed existed. Money? Yes, lots of it. But what's more important, you'll have peace.
I
You'll be
definitely
in
got
that
peace.
wonderful minority who lead calm, cheerful, successful lives. Start today. You have nothing to lose, but you have a life to win.
Yep. I had nothing to lose to chase my dreams. Like, man, everything to gain. So, like, shout out to Earl Nightingale for like creating that book, speaking on that book, because it truly changed my life. And that came out in 1950 something. So that was 2018 when that I discovered it. So 50 some years later, like that book is still impacting people on a large scale. That video, multiple videos of the same book got millions of views each time. So like he was on to something, obviously. But I realized that when he was speaking, it wasn't targeted to black people. Black people don't know who Earl Nightingale is, even though he was speaking in the 50s. Earl Nightingale was on the radio, but I'm pretty sure black people wasn't tuned in to the channel he was on. So I was able, like I said, was able to not be biased. Like I see through color, like so I was able to just tune in and like take the information, use the information. Like I said, I became the person who he was talking about. That's in the 1%. Like 100% sure. Like my mental is up there with Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. I'm 100% sure I'll be able to sit in the room with them type of people, and I'll be able to hold my own weight. Like so, like I know who I am. I know my potential. I know what my purpose is. So I'm not gonna let anything under that distract me. I'm not gonna let nobody pull me down. I'm not gonna be focused on nobody, no obstacles, no opponents, because I'm not in competition with nobody. It's all about self. Like I'm competing with myself to be my best version. Like when I meditate sometimes, like, I meditate on being my best, seeing myself as my best self, seeing my future self, seeing like the. When I close my eyes and I see myself with everything I desire. I whether it's driving a Tesla, I can see myself driving a Tesla. I can see myself pulling up to a mansion, like a certain mansion. Like I can see myself wearing certain certain clothes or shoes. Not even to say designer, but I can see myself going to different places I've never been, having different experiences with my family. So I'm able to visualize my future, and I'm able to set goals and work towards getting what I want out of life. Because getting what I want out of life because it's all about setting goals. It's all about knowing what you want out of life and believing you gonna get it. So Earl Nightingale plays a big part in my everyday life and like the way I think. I would I go back to like if I feel like I'm being like falling off mentally or like thinking negative too much, I always go back to some Earl Nightingale. And there's plenty of other books. Like if I end this live and I don't get a copyright claim because I played a book, like then that's gonna become part of my whole thing. So I hope y'all like that book or if anybody who tune in later and they listen to the book. I know I did a lot of talking, but like, I can't help it. It's like me watching a movie, my favorite movie. I'm gonna talk throughout the whole movie. I'm gonna repeat the whole movie. So it made a big impact on me. So if you want to watch that video without me talking, I'll share a link in the description. So again, you can hear it straight through. And that version I had played, that wasn't even Earl Nightingale talking. So I don't like that version that I had listened to. But the one I had clicked on, it didn't really work. So the video I'm gonna share in the description. Like Earl Nightingale's voice is like meant for like radio. It's like, dang, I think I heard this voice before. That's how I was. I'm like, I know I didn't heard this voice before. I'm like, so when I was hearing what he was saying, it was just making a bigger impact because it was feeling like deja vu because of the information he was saying. It was like, damn, it feel like I heard this before too, but I know I haven't. But the strangest secret is like knowing like you create your reality. Your thoughts will manifest, good or bad. Whatever you sow in your mind, whatever seeds you sow in your mind, good or bad, their mugs will flourish. They will be planted. And you know when you plant a seed, it don't be just one apple that pop up out the tree. I mean, that's apple tree, but it don't be just one corn that pop up. It be multiple corns that pop up. So whatever you plant in your mind, be ready to receive what you ask for. And a lot of times people are living their life not conscious no, or not knowing like they create their own reality. So they manifesting a bunch of negativity and thinking it's the world, thinking it's like the world against them. Like, nah, it's you against yourself. Like, me, I'm a person like that was me in the beginning until I followed the rules, I followed the steps. Like, now look at me. And I've been trying to tell people about the strangest secret since I learned about the books. Like, for real, since I put got put on, nobody even told me about the strangest secret. That's the crazy part about it. It wasn't like somebody was like, "Hey, you should listen to this book." I was just on YouTube, like discovering like new law of attraction videos. Cause I'm like, I had read The Secret, I had read Think and Grow Rich, and I'm like, that Earl Nightingale, I guess it was on like the recommendation video that came on next. Cause I was just listening to everything that would be on the side of YouTube, all whatever video that was on that side, and it had something to do with the law of attraction, positive mindset. Like I watched it all, and then I end up creating my own positive mind only. Like, and it wasn't based off what they was saying, but uh, what is it? It was what I learned from all of that. It was a collective of information. Like that's all I am, is a collective of information that I've read, that I've learned, and that's all of us. Most people just don't read books, so they're collective of what they heard or seen on Facebook. Like, so I'm just a collective of books read and lectures listened to. So I'm gonna speak on some things that a lot of people, other people ain't gonna speak on because they haven't read the books I read. Like I said, if you're not sharing your the books you read, and if you're not sharing the information that you've learned, like, and you holding it and keeping it to yourself, so you can be the only one that's on top, like, you in the wrong, and you gonna repeat your life. When the next life you live, you gonna have to do this shit all over again until you learn your lesson. Like me, I was quiet, like, cause I didn't know that was like I was supposed to speak up for myself. I mean, I knew I was supposed to speak up for myself because people always say, "Can I speak up for yourself?" But I don't know. It's like I felt like I had always got what I wanted, regardless, like for being quiet. Like, so it was like no reason for me to speak up for myself. And it wasn't like I didn't speak at all, though. Like that's what people would be like. People be like, "Oh, you're so quiet," but I'm like, I do talk. Like y'all do hear me talk. Like when I was in class as a kid, I'm like, I do talk to the teacher. Like y'all hear my voice, so like it ain't just I'm quiet. And I don't talk at all. It's just I don't be talking when y'all we not supposed to be talking. But that was crazy how kids are. Like, when you different, they'll tease, or people didn't tease me about being quiet. They just was wondering, like, dang, why he not talking? But we supposed to be in class, not talking. My teachers since I will always be the teacher's pet in elementary. When the teachers would be like gone for the day, or when they'll leave the class, like, or we have a substitute teacher, they'll make me the person that writes down the names. That like when the class was, when the kids was getting rowdy and loud, like I'd be the one who took the names, and then like I'd be cool with certain students, so I wouldn't snitch on them. But like if I ain't like you, I definitely put your name on that motherfucking list. then again, like when I look back on it, like that's some house slave shit compared to like the people that the slaves that was outside, like and I was that like Django, not to say the dude who was Samuel Jackson character, but as a kid, like I did kind of play that part. If I'd have stayed that way, I'd have been a kiss ass, brown noser, whatever you want to call it. But like I grew out of that shit. Now I realize ain't no point in me trying to suck up or kiss up to somebody just to get what I want. There's other ways of doing it. Speaking up for yourself, like getting what you want out of life, doing what you want, living your best life, like setting boundaries. I wasn't doing none of that. My boundaries was I just wasn't gonna talk to you. but yeah, if this video, this live don't get copyrighted, I'm gonna definitely do another book later today or tomorrow, and probably be the game of life and how to play it. Cause that was another book that's a good one. I got hundreds of books that we could just be listening to, but I don't know if people want to hear that. Like, that's just. But once again, it's just a test run, and it's early, so everybody, it's not a lot of people in here, so that's cool too. So as long as I'm getting them watch time hours up, and as long as I'm like making the contents so people can come back and watch it themselves, like that's all that matters. I don't really need people to be in the live when I'm doing it. I just need to get on live and talk. So that was the strangest secret by Earl Nightingale. Like I said, that was one of those books that changed my life. Like, and I knew it changed it. Like when I after the 30 days of me listening to it, like I felt the way a difference in the way I was thinking. So I'm like, oh yeah, he was telling the truth. But I had knew he was telling the truth because what he said, it felt like it felt right. Like the information felt normal. Like I said, it felt like I had already heard it before, but I knew I didn't. And then his voice felt so familiar. I'm like, dang, like it was so easy for me to connect with that information. So, like I said, I was listening to that with my wife, my daughters, every single day when I moved to Vegas. And turned me to this positive thinking individual. And now I created positive minds only. So shout out to Earl Nightingale for speaking his truth and like being inspired by Napoleon Hill because he was that's who he was inspired by. So I've read Napoleon Hill books. I've listened to his lectures, and he got some stuff that's just as like influential as the Strangest Secrets. So I listen to all the old rich white people lectures, like the ones that truly had money, the ones that like truly was thinking positive. Like I used to listen to all those every day, all day. Didn't watch no type of TV shows, none of that. All I did was watch positive stuff. Then I got to a point I'm like, dang, ain't no black people that got some information. Then I found Daylight the battle rapper. Like not his battle rappers, but like his when he would speak on his live streams, like he got some influential information as well. Like then I started listening to Bobby Hemmett, like and Brother Panic. Now I don't listen to too much nobody. I listen to myself. But those was like the people who impacted my journey as far as like spirituality and positive thinking. Like they didn't they didn't truly experience influence the experiences I had in my life up until that point. But as far as like learning about who I was and learning about controlling the way I thought, and like understanding like the true laws of the universe, like I listened to a few people and a lot of their content. I ain't gonna say I listen to all their content, but I listen to a lot of it. I watched a lot of the stuff. So yeah, when you get on your journey, you're gonna start to discover people who have the information that's meant for you. Like so, if you tune into this live, like this is something I new that I'm saying to you, but you resonate with it, you can connect with it. Like, I'm not gonna be the only person you listen to on your journey. It's gonna be somebody else you discover, and they gonna be talking about something different that's meant for you. So I'm just like, I could be the begin. Nah, I ain't the beginning. Like, I'm not waking people up no more. People who come to me, they already woke. So, but at first, like, I was only talking to people who was like sleep. Like, I was only trying to wake everybody up. But like I said, that ain't gonna be my job, cause everybody don't want to be woke up. Like, I may thought it was a good thing to be like conscious, you know, or aware of what was going on, but everybody don't want that. So you can't force somebody to wake up. Like I said, I probably said it yesterday in the earlier. I think, like I said, I don't know when I say stuff because I'll be on live every day, but you can have a person can set their alarm for 9:30, and if you wake up and you try to wake them up, they gonna be mad at you because they didn't want to wake up when you woke up. Like, so that's conscious I'm talking about, and like just like period. Like, so when I woke up, I was trying to wake everybody else up too, and nobody was really resonating with what I had going on. A few people woke up, but the majority of people stayed asleep around me. So, but eventually, everybody started waking up around me. So, but that was after I stopped focusing on trying to save everybody. I said, "Fuck it, y'all can save yourself." Like shit. 'Cause at the end of the day, I came here to save my soul, like save my kids, like get me evolve out of here and grow, become a better person, like live a better lifestyle. And I want people to know, hey, you can have whatever you want to, honestly. Like, especially if I know I came from Gary, Indiana, like and I got what I want, or like the majority of what I wanted out of life so far. Like, I got what I wanted. Like, I'm trying to put everybody on, like shit, especially those younger than me, like that ain't even been through what I've been through to some of the shit that I've been through, and I won't have to. Like, so that's why being a father is a major thing for me. Like, because when I was first having children, I didn't have this information. I wasn't like this. I wasn't thinking like this. So I played a part in programming my children in a negative way because that's how I was programmed. So now me having custody of like six of my children, I'm able to teach them the right ways. So it'll all work out for me. I don't know, like, dude, I don't know if people see the comments or like. I know YouTube usually don't show me everybody who watching. Then I know like it be comments on, but I don't know if they be fake profiles or what. They be commenting like shit. I don't know what the fuck that is. But I don't know if that's going towards the watch time hours. But if it is, like, I'm cool with that. Like, I don't care if it's a bot or whatever. It's probably an agent. Fucking people watching my shit to see what I'm talking about. Trying to make sure I ain't spilling no secrets. But like I said, I ain't trying to be on no platform. I ain't trying to be super famous out here. I don't care about nothing about fame. As soon as I mention agents, like my somebody left. Like, but I ain't trying to save the world. That ain't meant for me. That ain't my story. It's somebody else's story, so I'm not gonna interfere with what they got going on. So then they can try to compete with me. Like, nah. And then like shit. It's more. It's always more than one superhero. Like shit. Man. People just want to be the top one, like the only one to do something, the only one that got some money, the only one that got information. Like, didn't want to hold it so people can depend on them, be codependent on them, so they can feel like they got some type of power. Nah, I feel more power when I'm helping and I'm giving like for free. Like that gives me more power. Like that gives me more happiness. Like, but I'm not judging somebody who thinks like that or acts that way because we're all not the same. Like we all come from different backgrounds. Like so, what you expect? We all got different beliefs. So once again, I can't judge a person on how they is and how they react in life, especially when I know life is hard and rough. Like it's going, you gonna develop some habits, some bad habits, some good habits, some like sneaky ways. Like you gonna develop that because that's just what like we experience on this planet while we alive. So my thing is just to continue to grow and help those around me grow. Cause ain't nobody else. I ain't gonna say ain't nobody else trying to do that, but it ain't too many people out there that's like trying to help people grow. They just trying to get paid. I'm trying to get paid and help people grow. Like try to do both. And not to say I'm trying to get paid for helping people grow, but I'm trying to, like I said, I ain't just doing YouTube. I got other adventures that I got going on. So, but it's, at the same time, the energy and the time that I do got towards like YouTube, I need to utilize that like in the right way. So that means just not watching people's videos all day when I can watch my own or make my own. So, yep, that's just what I be on. I've been on here for an hour and 26 minutes so far. Like, trying to see if I should go to like 2 hours, then come back later. Then, like, cause like I said, I don't be wanting to overdo it or overdo it my over burn out quick. So I done posted 11 lives so far. Most of them is over an hour, 2 hours long. So I'm proud of myself so far. And, like this is once I got off live yesterday, it felt like I had left a job. Like it felt like I was really working all day. I was ready to go to bed. I was ready to get into bed and go to sleep. But at the same time, it don't feel like a job like that. I don't want to do. Like it just like I was really tired from putting in work. Like so, and then like to see my watch time hours growing too. Like so, like that always feels good. The Earl Nightingale. I mean, I said the Earl Nightingale, but the Strangest Secret. Like yeah, that's my book though. I got it started in I think by on January, right? I had like zero public watch hours when January started. It's January 20. Is it the 23rd? But I'm at 166 public watched hours. So I need to get 11. Nah, because I need to catch up. Like I'm kind of behind as far as this year on public watch hours. Like technically, I'm probably like only 2 days behind. Like if I need 11 watch time hours a day to get 4,000 watch time hours in a year. So like I'm on pace, but I'm also kind of behind because I started getting on live late. So if I ramp it up every day, I got people coming in. Like all I need is like 2 or 3 people that stick around for some hours, and that's just gonna help build up my numbers. Then I got my own personal strategies that I like help me get my watch time hours up. So like getting on live like that plays a big part. Like at first I didn't want to do all that, but I'm like, hey, you want to get paid, right? You want to get monetized? So do what you gotta do. Stop complaining. And other people that's on social media and they feel way worse about themselves than you do and how they look. So what you complaining about? it's been paying off. Like me, like putting in all this work on YouTube, it's definitely been paying off. Like the shorts have gave me 3,000 watch time hours in 28 days. So if the shorts was counting towards the monetization hours, like I could have been monetized. But nah, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. They knew that though. Like that's why they promote shorts, because it gives you views, but it don't give you monetization hours. Today the 23rd. Not really tired, but I did get straight up out the bed. I came in here and I ain't try to waste no time getting on live. I'm like, shit, time is ticking. Time is precious. So you gotta use every minute wisely. Like I said, I gotta treat this like it's a job. That's the only way I'm gonna get paid for it is if I treat it like a job. If I treat it just like a hobby, I ain't gonna try to get paid off of it. That's what I was treating it like that at first, but I'm treating this shit really like a job. I had 8 views come in so far, so that's good for me. I be need to get into somebody's gym or my own. I need to create my own gym. No, I got a VR. I need to go to the virtual reality gym. That's the only gym I'm trying to go to. I be just posting stuff now, and people be just commenting random shit I don't reply to because I just post it to get the traction, to get people coming, to get people talking. Yeah, I think I might get off this live early, then just come back. But I'm like, should I do 2 hours? Because I don't want to do. I'm getting kind of picky now. Like, it was better hour 34 minutes. That ain't long enough. I like watching movies that's kind of long, honestly. Or I like to watch the episode, like TV shows that's like an hour long. I don't really like them short episodes. One thing I like short is music and shorts. fuck it. I think I'm gonna just get off the live right now and come back later. Peace.